Hello and welcome to the Field Engineer. Today we are talking to Jason Jackman, who manages a field service organisation in the UK. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So, Jason, getting straight into it, tell us about your journey into field service management.
It's my journey. So I left school at 16, as everyone does. First job I took, I joined the army for 5 years. When I left that, I had a mortgage to pay, and honestly, I looked for the first job I could. And the company took me on as a technician initially, full training, and that's where I kind of started my journey with the same company that I've been at for the last 17 years. During my time, started off as a technician for about 8 years. I was a technician for, gaining some experience within the industry, and then subsequently moved on to be a team leader and working through as a senior technician then, so more on the technical side. I was very fortunate then to sort of have opportunities created where I was able to apply as an area service manager, and then later on becoming a regional service manager. So again, through the ranks, which has been really key for what I've wanted to do, and then most notably lately, I've moved up to a head of field service as it stands. So yeah, quite a journey through.
And what kind of products were you interacting with? What kind of things were you fixing?
So as a technician, all appliances, kitchen appliances, ovens, hobs, cooker hoods, coffee machines, then obviously the laundry products as well, and dishwashers. Within that, initially there was some more of the semi-commercial products as well that we would work on as well. So quite a range, to be honest.
Okay, and your customers, were they just consumers or were they businesses? So give us an indication of that.
So yeah, probably 95% of them were consumers. So in their houses, which was always probably the most exciting part of it, is going to different people's houses and getting to meet different people. And then probably 5% of it was business premises, working on some of the larger equipment.
Okay, so that sounds like a high volume kind of job. I guess in that kind of environment, you've got a lot of unpredictability in terms of where you're going, what device you're going to be turning up and servicing. How do you manage some of that unpredictability, both, I guess, in terms of technician, but now as a manager?
It's always difficult. Sort of this industry it can be very unpredictable. As a technician, you've got support in place, you have regular training, and you rely on that support to talk to other people and get that advice and be prepared. It's the biggest thing for any job, I think, is being prepared for it. Being agile, flex into what's in front of you in terms of what you need to do. As a manager, in one respect, it's no different. You can have a mindset that today you're going to do X, Y, and Z, or for this week you're going to do these particular tasks, and straight away, first thing in the morning, that can change because something else is more relevant, needs that attention. So it's really about being adaptable, agile, and willing to prioritize what needs doing there and then. It's no different if you're in front of the consumer or whether you're behind the scenes, looking after a team of people.
Okay, and you mentioned there being agile and I guess adaptable. When you're hiring, when you're looking for field engineers, how do you go about identifying the right kind of person for the organisation that you're in?
It's really, I believe, it comes down to the person. So, as an example for me, when I joined the company I work for, I'd had no experience of the industry. I'd not repaired a dishwasher or washing machine ever before, barely even touched them. But obviously they saw something inside me that would be able to learn that. And maybe it was the behavioural side of things, the attitude towards it, and that personally is something I would look for in having the right candidate. So someone who is, the basics is they're polite, they're respectable, they turn up early for an interview, for example, or and that should never change. Being personable, all those basic things that you expect everyone to be and should be, but then it's the ability to show that they can learn, show they want to learn, show they've got ambition, and that they're in it for the right reasons, and they've got that self drive to be able to, I can learn all this, I can get out there and do a great job. Those are sort of things I I would personally look for.
Yeah, so it's those soft skills, it's the attitude, and I guess in terms of the hardware, as long as there's a basic level of competence in terms of the technicalities, you're willing to train that into the new candidates. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What would you say are the biggest challenges that you're facing in your organization in terms of field service? What are the challenges today?
There's probably a couple of challenges that spring to mind. One is, and touching on recruitment, is is hiring these people with past skill sets and experience. I wouldn't like to say it's a dying trade, but like having someone grow up in terms of coming to do service engineer work, no one necessarily offers that as much these days as they might have done 20, 30 years ago. So it's that's a challenge. We're all competing for the same people, but actually being able to then train people from scratch with the right attitude and the right mindset is, it's one of those things we have to do. I think all sort of companies within the industry will be doing nowadays to be able to get people in the right positions. And the other thing I think is probably the other biggest challenge is that there is so much competition out there, especially within this industry, whether it's the manufacturer who goes to repair a product, or whether it's Joe Bloggs down the road who can do turn his hand or her hand to anything. It's kind of, the competition is there in terms of cost. A lot of people are thinking about cost these days, so it's really trying to make sure, I suppose, that people are well equipped and capable, and providing that good quality service and technical ability that's needed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Can I ask, do you, when going back to this recruitment idea, do you target any particular group? Do you have a graduate program, for example, or do you tend to look for someone with a bit of experience? What's your, or perhaps it's a range of targets?
Well, yeah, it's had to change. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we would look for someone who had the skills that was coming from, potentially another manufacturer to literally transfer. But, in the last 5 years, we've had to adapt that so that people can come across from other like-minded industries. So transferable skills. We've had people from RAC, AA, places like that, but that they are able to transfer their skills and it's proven its worth. Or there's great customer service skills that they've been able to bring with them, and then adapt the technical side of things. Because again, these days repairing appliances is more than just that. It's about the whole experience for a customer and what they get and how they're helped with their products. So it's a whole range of things nowadays that we look for.
Yeah. Okay. And for our non-UK members, RAC, AA, those are automotive roadside kind of assistants. So quite technical folks who will come to your aid when your car breaks down. All right, cool. Can you tell me what is the best part of your job? What do you love doing? What does a great day look like for you?
Well, there's a lot to this role, and I'll probably say for me personally, it's being involved, a couple of things, being involved in sort of shaping the future for service and for field service, and seeing the positive impact that it can have, being able to give people opportunities. So I was fortunate to have those opportunities as a technician, and I think it's important to have that for other people. And so creating different roles, different comments, different projects, all sorts of things like that, and people being able to take part in those, because it provides that engagement, it provides that opportunity for people, and it makes for a better future for everyone and the business itself.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And if you had any advice for people who are coming into field service, or members of our field service community, what advice would you give those people?
Advice wise, I would probably say, it's going to sound funny, but I would say just be ready. Be ready and agile to take on whatever, and always see different things as an opportunity. So whether it's something you had your heart set on, or whether it's just something that's come out of the blue, just take those opportunities, because you never know what it can lead to. Whether it's a small project or a secondment in something, take that opportunity, and embrace things. Embrace that the fact that technology is changing. the world is changing. If you can have a positive outlook on it, it's going to make it better for everyone. It's going to make it more enjoyable. So yeah, embrace change.
Excellent. So yeah, an excellent note to leave it on. Jason, thank you very much. I'm aware you've stepped into someone else's shoes for this interview, so thank you very much for that. To all our viewers, please do consider subscribing to the channel. If you'd like to see any other content, then please leave a comment down below, and we will look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks very much.
Thank you.